I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna just have casual sex with hot guys, no matter how hot they are, because I value myself and I know where I want to be. And I know that Angela having casual sex, like, in like not valuing herself, is not gonna make me proud. And I've been on drugs, I've done things that I wasn't the most proud of, and I literally used to not have any of my shit together. And then I figured out a couple things, a couple of like aha moments that allowed me to at least now say with confidence that I have at least 65% of my shit together. And if you want to get your shit together, then here are the things I've realized that could help you out. The very first one is to stop blaming others for your circumstances. The thing with blame is it literally strips you of your power, and it makes you believe that you don't have the control, that you're not in control of your own life. And that is such a fucking lie, because you do have the control. Even Viktor Frankl, when he was in the Nazi concentration camps, he knew that people could take away like every single bit of external control you have, but you still have control over your mind. And of course, this is not to say that um, the people with mental disabilities don't exist or whatnot, but for most of us, we have control over what's in here. We have control over our internal world. We can literally change the direction of our thoughts. And that is the very first step of, taking your power back. It's realizing that nobody else has the power over you. It's not going to be the government. It's not going to be the boy or girl that you think is going to rescue you. It's not going to be your parents, and it's not going to be your friends even. It's literally going to be you. And you need to take your power back, because unless you do, you're just going to sit and wait there and literally keep blaming everyone else except yourself for what's already happened to you. The very first thing you need to do is actually take accountability and ask yourself, okay, how did I participate in getting me to where I am right now? If you're in a crappy situation, what did you do that, got you there? It's really take, and no, not everybody wants to do this because it's not easy. Taking a look at your shit requires maturity. So if you're ready to get your shit together, you gotta have some accountability, and you gotta really take the reins and take your power back. And again, the way to do that is to stop blaming everyone else for your circumstances. And when you've done that first step, the next move for you would be to realize that your past does not equal your future when you're really being more intentional. And what I mean by this is your past does not define you. Just because you were a convict, you've had a felon, just because you've done a lot of like crappy things in the past, just because you've stolen, just because you've lied, just because you've cheated in the past, just because you've done things that you weren't really the most proud of, does not mean that you have to be that person in the future. And the very first step was to take your power back and realize that you have choice, you have control. And now that you realize that, you can literally be someone else in your future. You can literally change yourself and decide that you don't want to be that anymore, and that you don't need to be a victim of your past, or nor do you have to be defined by your past. If I allowed my past to define me, I would literally be a munchkin seller, or I would still be doing drugs, and I would literally still not believe that I had the capacity to earn as much as I am earning right now, or live a life that I really wanted to live for myself. So the key with not letting your past define you is by surrounding yourself with the people that you admire, and surrounding yourself with people who whose lives, like, who have their shit together, whose lives are lives that you actually want for yourself, and just seeing the possibility that, oh, it's possible for them, it's possible for me, and really getting inspired. Now, when you have internalized that you don't have to be the same person over and over and over again, and that you have the power to change into the person that you want to be, then naturally you would now have to think about, who do you actually want to be? Now that you know you don't have to be, Angela in the past, or Robert in the past, or Joseph in the past. Now you ask yourself, who do you want to be in this world? Do you want to be the person who heals other people? Do you want to be the person who empowers other people? Do you want to be the person who takes the best wedding photos? Do you want to be the person who makes women feel so beautiful and empowered in themselves and their own skin? Who do you want to be? It's that, now that we've gotten your blockages from your past out of the way, you can now start thinking, what does the future look like? What does the future you look like? How does he or she talk? How does she or he look like? And how confident is he or she in himself or herself, right? So deciding who you want to be, this is why it's really also important to see the people who you aspire to be and be inspired by them, and see what you want, because now that you have your past for experience and your past tells you what you do not want, now you can move forward and be the person that you want to be. And it starts with asking yourself, who is that person? Before I was making like 6 figures in a month, I would literally visualize myself, and I already decided that I wanted to be the Angela that makes 6 figures in a month like a year ago. And it didn't happen overnight, but I got here. And if I didn't make the decision, if I didn't ask myself who I wanted to be, I would be lost. And I would not have the standards that I have for myself and my relationships and my clients and my tribe right now, had I not asked myself who I wanted to be in the future. And it's not something that stops. Right now, I'm like constantly asking myself, okay, what's next? Who am I going to be in like the next 5 years? Who am I going to be next year? Who do I have to be to like make $1 million in the next year? It's not going to be something where it's like, oh, I got here, yay, I'm done. No, it's not like that. And the final step is to work on yourself, because just because now you know who you want to be, it's not going to be like manna from heaven where you're going to be like, oh, that person the next day. No, it's going to be a cycle of constantly improving yourself and catching yourself when you're doing the things that you're not very proud of again. And it's not going to be a perfect journey. You're going to make some mistakes, and that's normal, and it's very important that you don't beat yourself up for it. But you also got to put in the work and put in the time required to really improve and really work on yourself. And this is where most people kind of like, not for me, because this whole getting your shit together, it takes work. And the reason why it's important for you to know what you want to become and who you want to be is because that will give you the fuel when shit gets hard. For me, when I realized and when I decided that I wanted to be, a leader, and I wanted to be a role model for people, and I wanted to be like a really fucking good mom, and I wanted to have a great family, and I wanted to be an amazing wife, and I decided all these things, that I wanted these things. When I figured that out, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna just have casual sex with hot guys, no matter how hot they are, because I value myself, and I know where I want to be, and I know that Angela having casual sex, like, in, like, not valuing herself, is not gonna make me proud. And that has allowed me to, like, really raise my standards and take the action required to meet those standards, because this is you now, where you are, and this is where you want to be, and the action is what's going to bridge the gap so that you can get here in the future. And again, it's not going to be overnight, but it's going to be super freaking worth it. So that is a very short process of getting your shit together. Just like have these things, do these things, and you might not have 100% of your shit together. I still definitely do not have everything together in terms of like other aspects in my life, but you're gonna be so much better off, and you're gonna improve, and you're gonna have a much better version of yourself and a much better life. And life is all about a constant game of improvement. So 1% better every single day. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this very short video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!